The cold is a physical thing. It has weight, pressing down from the vast, white sky, and teeth, gnawing at any exposed flesh, glacial ice. A wall of pale blue at the edge of the world. Breathes this cold over a landscape of stunted pines and wind-scoured rock. This is the brutal reality of prehistoric life during the Great Ice Age. A world of profound and unforgiving scarcity. For the clan, survival is a huddle, a shared fire, a collective breath held against the frost. But Ko is not in the huddle. He hunts alone. His exile is a quiet one. A sentence passed not in words but in turned backs and a lack of shared meat. A flawed spear throw. A moment's hesitation that cost the clan a prize reindeer was all it took. In a world where every calorie is counted, a single mistake can sever the bonds of kinship. So now he skirts the edges of the clan's territory, a ghost in their periphery, driven by the same hunger, but without the warmth of their numbers. His survival is a mathematical problem he is failing to solve. The rabbits are too quick, the birds too wary. The great Pleistocene megafauna, a woolly rhinos and jai and telk are the stuff of clan hunts. Impossible dreams for a lone spear. He is tracking a snow hare when he finds the scene of the slaughter, the scent of blood, sharpened metallic on the clean. Cold air leads him to a shallow depression behind a line of boulders. A large she will flies in the snow, her grey fur matted with frozen blood, her neck broken. The tracks tell the story of a short-faced bear, a surprise attack, a brief, violent struggle. The wolf's pack, a marvel of cooperative hunting, is also a fragile thing, but careless eyes are drawn to a slight movement beneath the dead wolf's flank. It is a cub, no more than a few weeks old, a whimpering ball of grey fur and oversized paws, shivering violently. Its eyes, a startling blue, are wide with terror and confusion. The hunter's instinct is immediate and absolute. His flint knife is in his hand before the thought is fully formed. The cub is a future competitor, a rival for the same scarce prey. To kill it is not cruel, it is practical, the cold logic of this world. But he pauses. His knife hand trembles slightly. He looks at the orphaned creature, its entire world just destroyed, and sees a reflection. He sees the same sentence of slow death that has been passed on him. Loneliness. An outcast. A social animal stripped of its society. In the cub's desperate, hopeless eyes, he sees his own. This flicker of empathy, this moment of shared doom, is an illogical, dangerous luxury, and yet he cannot dismiss it. This is the emotional turning point, an intelligence of the heart overriding the cold calculus of the stomach. Slowly, he meals. The cub flinches, a low growl rumbling in its tiny chest. Cal makes no sudden moves. He takes a small, frozen strip of leathery meat from his pouch's own meager ration for the day. He places it on the snow, a few feet from the cub. The gesture is a question. The cub, driven by a hunger that overrides its fear, inches forward, sniffs the offering, and then devours it in a few frantic gulps. Cal watches the instinct to live, so fierce and pure. He, a member of the most adaptable species on the planet, and this wolf, the ultimate social carnivore, are both at the absolute bottom of their fortunes. Two exiles, shivering in the shadow of the ice. He makes his choice. He reaches out, not with the hand that holds the knife, but with the other, and gently gathers the trembling cub into the folds of his fur wrap. The wolf grows. The seasons turn, and the cub's oversized paws become lethal weapons. His whimpers deepen into the resonant growl of a young adult. Kel names him Ghost, for the way he moves through the snow-dusted pines, a silent, grey phantom. Their life is a pared down, brutal routine. They share the warmth of a small fire in a shallow rock overhang. Their bodies are bulwark against the wind. They share the hunt. This is not a man taming a beast. It is something far stranger, far more profound. It is the slow, patient weaving of two nervous systems into one functional whole. Their communication is a language without words, a lexicon of pricked ears. a lowered head, the subtle shift of weight from one foot to another. Kale learns to read the wolf's body as accurately as he reads the tracks of a deer in the snow. A low growl is not just a warning. Its pitch and duration tell him if the threat is in the air or on the ground, if it is predator or prey. Ghost, in turn, learns to read the human. He learns that the sudden stillness of Kale's body means an ambush is being set, that the sharp tap of a spear but on stone is the signal to circle, to drive. This is the raw, unwritten beginning of cooperative hunting, a strategy that will one day change the course of human evolution. The first true test comes with the reindeer migration. A lone hunter has no chance against a herd, but a pack might. Their pack is two, from a high ridge. They watch the river abundance and fur flow through a narrow valley. Kale's mind, capable of foresight, maps the terrain. He sees a place where the rocks form a natural funnel. Ghost needs no map. He reads Kale's intent, and as the hunter slips away to take his position, the wolf descends. He does not attack the herd. He is a shepherd of terror. A grey streak running along their flank, nipping, snarling, turning the edge of the herd, peeling off a single, large male and driving it, panicked and confused, directly towards the waiting spear. The kill is swift, a perfect, deadly geometry of man and wolf. Kale and Ghost now eat well. The hunter's ribs are no longer a stout cage beneath his skin. He wears the thick, warm hide of the reindeer he could never have killed alone. But his success does not bring him closer to the clan. It drives him further away, from the cliff-top encampment. They watch. They see his fire burning brightly in the distance. A defiant star in the wilderness. They find the remains of his kills, evidence of a prowess that now rivals, and perhaps exceeds, their own collective efforts, and they see his companion. To these early humans, the wolf is the other. It is the competing shadow in the forest, the hungry mouth at the edge of the firelight. To see Kale moving in concert with one is a violation of the natural order. It is a terrifying mystery. Is he consorting with spirits? Has he become one himself? The clan shaman speaks of a man who has traded his human soul for a predator's ghost. Their fear is palpable, a new kind of cold that has nothing to do with the ice. Their relationship is a form of symbiosis they cannot comprehend, and so they condemn it. Kale has solved the problem of his own survival, but in doing so, has made himself an object of primal fear to the very people he once called his own. The crucible comes in the deep winter, the time of endless dark and howling winds. The clan's main shelter is a deep cave system, a sanctuary that has protected them for generations. But this year, they are not alone. A great cave bear, a creature of nightmare proportions, driven from its own territory by hunger, has claimed the outer chambers. It is a siege. The hunters cannot get out. The firewood runs low. The stench of fear and confinement is thick in the air. Their spears are useless against a mountain of muscle and fury that stands twice as tall as a man. Kale watches the cave from a distance. A plume of smoke from the entrance, the only sign of his trapped kin. Ghost paces beside him. The fur on his back ridged. His low growls a constant, vibrating threat aimed at the unseen enemy. Kale feels no triumph at the clan's predicament. He feels a hollow, aching connection. The children inside, the elders who once told him stories, their fate is his own, bound by invisible threads of ancestry. This is his herd, his pack. He must make a hard choice to retreat into the wilderness and save himself, or to risk everything for the community that cast him out. The decision is made for him when a lone hunter makes a desperate run from the cave, trying to reach the tree line for firewood. The bear emerges, a monstrous, shaggy shape against the snow, and swats the man aside like a dog. The hunter's scream is cut short. The act is one of such brutal, absolute power that it extinguishes the last embers of the clan's hope. They are going to die in that cave. This is where the story of domestication ceases to be about taming and becomes about alliance. Kale knows his spear alone is a fool's hope. He knows Ghost alone is no match for the bear. But together, they are a different kind of weapon. He spends the day preparing. He does not sharpen his spear for a killing blow. He sharpens fire-hardened sticks. He does not gather stones. He gathers dry, resin-spined boughs. He is not planning a fight. He is planning a hunt, the most dangerous of his life. At dusk, they approach. Ghost moves ahead. A silent scout, using the rocks for cover. He gives a single, sharp bark the signal. The bear is near the entrance, guarding its new lair. Kale lights a torch. The flame sputters. A small, brave thing in the immense skull. He moves forward. The bear smells him, hears him, and rises to its full, terrifying height. A roar tearing from its throat. But before it can charge, Ghost attacks. He does not go for the throat. He is a phantom, a blur of grey, nipping at the bear's massive hind legs. A stinging distraction that the great beast cannot ignore. It turns, sorting, enraged by this infuriating gnat. That is Kale's moment. He does not run at the bear. He runs past it, into the mouth of the cave. He throws his torch onto the pile of dry pine boughs he had seen the desperate hunter drop. They ignite with a whoosh, as the bear turns back, drawn by the light and the new threat. It finds its path, blocked by a wall of flame and smoke. It is confused, its rage momentarily smothered by a primal fear of the fire. Kale and Ghost, acting as one, doctor the sharpened stakes into the earth at the edge of the fire, creating a crude but effective barrier. The bear is now trapped between its fear of the flames and the open. Inhospitable cold, it hesitates, then chooses the cold. Numbering off into the darkness, Kale stands in the firelight, breathing heavily, Ghost at his side. From the depths of the cave, faces appear, wide-eyed with disbelief. They see the outcast and the wolf, not as monsters, but as saviors. They see a fire that is not just for warmth, but is a weapon. In that moment, the fear in their eyes is replaced by a dawning, revolutionary understanding. The bond between the man and the wolf is not a curse. It is a new kind of fire. And this knowledge, this act of cultural transmission, will change their world more than any sharpened stone. The clan did not just accept Kale, but they remade their world around the truth he brought from the wilderness. The children who had once thrown stones at Ghost now brought him scraps of meat. The hunters who had scorned Kale now came to him to learn the new language of the hunt, the silent grammar of the pack. This partnership was the single greatest evolutionary advantage our ancestors ever stumbled upon. It gave the frail, slow human the speed, senses, and fury of a wolf. And it gave the wolf the foresight, the planning, and the fire of a human. Every dog that lies at our feet today, every loyal companion that shares our homes, is a direct descendant of that first, terrifying, sacred alliance. Their DNA is a living library of ancient history, carrying the memory of a time when our species, cornered by the ice and the dark, chose to face the monsters together. They teach us that the most powerful bonds are often forged not in comfort, but at the edge of the abyss. This has been the Chronicler. The deepest histories are not written on cave walls, but in the heart of the pack. And what became of those who chose to hunt alone?